Well, here we go again about the sacred as May 9th approaches. Now, all the parrots are coming to life, preening their feathers of Russian victory celebrations. And now this bird market will start again. The chatter about the USSR's leading role and proving the USSR's leading role in World War II. And as proof, as always, since there are no others, the trump card of colossal losses, much greater than those of other countries in the anti-Hitler coalition, will be laid out. And today, observing the Frontline Chronicles, particularly in the Nevzorov Telegram channel, we have the opportunity to see that the Russian army, as it did not know any other way of waging war, except by exerting pressure with corpses, its own corpses and flesh, still does not know. And the reason for the hellish losses of Stalin's army. In the Second World War, there was not only the traditional incompetence of the command, but also the command's generosity with its own soldiers' flesh. And where it was possible, let's say, tactically necessary to lay down 100 heads, Stalin's generals would lay down 10,000 or not count at all. And now Russia is fighting in exactly the same way, with flesh and only flesh, relying on the belief that it can forever drive its masses to death. And in the video that I am attaching to the Frontline Chronicle, it's just 300 meters out of 1,000 kilometers of the front. Look at how many dead there are. It's quite difficult to calculate how many of these corpses are conscripts, how many are contract soldiers, and how many are draftees. However, after Putin solemnly promised not to allow or take conscripts to the front, the necessity arose. Well, everyone knows he lies about everything. The necessity arose. That's how it is. The thirst for verification, and it turned out that hundreds of conscripts have already been turned into maggot feed. And these are only those whose fate could be tracked, who haven't been lying for months, blackening and rotting in ditches. These are the hundreds whose deaths could be documented. In terms of frontline affairs, no successes, hordes, orcs. In the past day, nothing has been observed on the front. On the contrary, here we have, well, he generally says everything through gritted teeth, Sirsky. He doesn't like media attention, doesn't like to speak, doesn't like to talk. Nevertheless, he very dryly reported that 16 square kilometers of territory have been liberated. The talk is about Selo Udachnaya, Kotlina, and Shevchenko. Despite that, yes, there are still fierce battles ongoing, but more likely in the Pokrovsk area. One can speak of the successes of the Ukrainian armed forces, not of the successes of Putin's army.